Hi, Pisces. Welcome back to As Above, So Below Healing Tarot, where you are the magic baby. This is going to be a reading for Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus Pisceans. So, Pisces, on my walk earlier today, I kept hearing getting unstuck. So, you may be having some accelerated motion where you felt like things were just not moving, things felt sticky. Now you may be getting offers coming in, or you may be meeting new social connections. Like, it feels like you've been in a little bit of a stall period and now things may be ramping up a little bit. So we're gonna see what's going on for Pisces. Spirit, please help me in delivering the most magical messages for Pisces. Reflections, what you contemplate can actualize. Ooh, Pisces, this is a lot of manifestation energy. There's also big mirror energy. So some of you may be doing some mirror magic, really looking at yourself in the mirror, and that song, Mirror, Mirror on the Wall, who's the baddest of them all? But I also feel like it's looking at your inner emotions, especially with a lot of water here. So yeah, and I think you're also seeing how your actions or how your reactions have kind of brought on certain situations in your life. You have beauty, grace, loveliness, integrity of form and spirit. I love this. Pisces, I feel like there's been a lot of emphasis around integrity, around keeping people who have integrity, or you are keeping your integrity intact. So I'm also hearing like taking the high road. So some of you are getting a lot of challenging situations where you have been wrestling with your emotions and with your higher self, where you have felt resistance in your relationship, where you are really, you have found that integrity is something that you really value. And looking at how your relationships kind of have that core value. And I think that that's a big inner discovery that you've made, that those core values, that is one of them. Spirit, what else is going on for Pisces? The Witch. I have my Halloween oracle because I am just like, I do Summerween, and I start to get excited because we're getting closer to October and Halloween, and you know, we're all witches here. So okay, we have the Witch, the earthly weaver of the worlds. I love this. Pisces, you are tapping into your inner witch. You are tapping into your magic. You are really seeing how your will, your mind, your heart can manifest what it is that you want. You really can have it all. And this is empowerment. I feel so much empower from this reading. You have beauty too. So I think that you are, I'm hearing forging your own path. And even if that looks differently to people, to others, you're like, I don't care, I'm protected. I work in this realm and I work in the astral. I am protected. So there's a lot of confidence that you have in yourself, in your team, in your guides, and I feel like you're no longer putting so much energy on the past. It is about moving forward and focusing on your, experiences. What is going to bring you the most purpose and fulfillment? Spirit, our Pisces, we already have Ace of Swords on the deck. We have Justice. Whew, Page of Wands. Okay, Spirit, what else is here for Pisces? The Wheel of Fortune wanted to flip, but it didn't. Page of Swords. Okay. Oh, and the Six of Pentacles. I love this. Pisces, I feel like there's a big underlying energy of community, of giving back, of sharing your gifts, sharing your talents, and also being recognized for them. I think that you've been in a period where you have, you know, kind of thought that your talents, your gifts were normal. They really were things that almost everybody could do. But Pisces, you have so many gifts. You are compassionate, you are psychic, you know how people feel. And there's so much healing that this world needs right now. And I think that you have made big decisions to move forward towards your purpose. The Ace of Swords is communication, justice. This is all about balance. So you have made big decisions that have put you in more of a humbling experience. It feels like you are really getting a lot of, I'm hearing like claircognizant downloads about where to go next. So instead of working the 9 to 5, you are looking at situations where you're like, I may not make the same amount of money that I did at my other job, or, you know, I may not even be in the same position, but I am going to make a choice that is going to help me get closer to my purpose. And because you have a lot of empowerment, but I also think that by making this choice, you have gone into page mode. You are like, I have a lot to learn here. And in a way that feels refreshing because you have up-leveled, Pisces. You have challenged yourself to say, I'm going to jump. I'm going to take that leap. I am going to do the thing because it is going to help me grow. And you have the Page of Wands and the Page of Swords. So this is total magician manifestation energy with fire and air. You may be taking new classes, you may be taking new courses, getting new certifications, and you may also be looking at doing some traveling. You may be going to somewhere where you have to travel to. So I also feel like you're taking your gifts more seriously, and you really are weaving the worlds together. You weave the in-between. You weave the spiritual with the earth. That's exactly what a witch does. She is a walker between worlds, and you do the same thing. And I think because that hasn't really been modeled to you, maybe, it feels a little shaky because usually you're used to, you know, having a set schedule. There's something that keeps coming up about the control. Perhaps you've had more control in the past where you were because it was more, you know, predictable. But now I think that because you have taken that jump, you are like, I have a lot to learn, but I'm going to learn it. I am going to embrace this new chapter of my life because I want to be here. I made choices to be here. What an empowering place to be, Pisces. Like, it's so empowering when you feel nervous or scared because you're doing the thing that you thought you could never do, but you're actually doing it. That takes a lot of fucking strength, a lot of power, a lot of trust. Trusting that Spirit's like, okay, you jumped. Now let us meet you halfway. Let us do the other part of the work. Like, I feel like Pisces is just like, all right, I'm here. I'm here. So let's just enjoy the ride, okay? Okay, this one came out in the last reading, loudspeaker. Keep using that voice. Really put in your thoughts, put in your ideas, and your voice is valuable. Your perspective is valuable. So I feel like you're also making more decisions. I don't feel like you're a wallflower in this period, Pisces. Like, I'm surprised that none of the queens have come out because I definitely feel that there's a lot of throat chakra. You can't make this up. You can't make it up. So, even though the queens aren't here, I feel a very Queen of Wands energy. I feel like there is a lot of fire. There's a lot of passion behind what it is that you want to do. But I feel like there's also like that thought process of how are we going to get there? You know, you are looking at the end game of like, I want to be here, but I also have to go through all of these other in-between middle phases. And you're in the middle, you're in the in-between right now. But using your voice, using your communication will also help attract other people. I think also by putting yourself out there, doing the thing that you want to do, or putting yourself out there as how you want to be seen and showing up in the world, that's also going to attract like-minded people. You may be looking at building a community, and it is requiring you to use your voice. It's requiring you to use your perspective. And I think that's just something that you haven't quite valued up until this point. You know, you have abundance, Pisces. Using your voice will bring in abundance. This is absolutely beautiful. I love this. And bees are also about community. And you see on the back, it's the flower of life. So it is all intertwined. It's all connected. You never know who you're going to meet and how they're going to play a role in your life later down the road. I will say that I just moved into a physical space with my my spiritual business. So I do massage, I do Reiki, tarot, and I'm renting a room from somebody who I met when I was just an esthetician back in 2013. Years ago, it's been more than 10 years ago that I met this woman who is also an amazing, beautiful witch. Meeting her, and I had no clue that I was going to be renting from her down the road. And this is like a whole new chapter. So you're really putting yourself out there, maybe in ways where you haven't before. And it's going to really bring you abundance. You also have confirmation. So Pisces, I feel like there's a really big aspect of surrender and trust right now. And it feels like you have been getting confirmation. Your psychic senses are revving up a lot, and you are learning how to interpret your psychic information. I think that it almost feels like it's computing. It's like, okay, we got this code. How are we going to download it and place it here, you know? But keep talking, keep communicating, keep putting out your voice, because it will attract abundance. So Pisces, put down in the comments, my voice is powerful, and really amplify that up, because even doing that brings attention to your throat chakra. Because I feel like that healing that is a big key to moving forward. So all right, Pisces, if you would like a personal reading, the link for it is in the description box below. Otherwise, I will see you on the next one. Blessed be. Bye.